The sky was painted with shades of gold and purple as the sun slowly dipped below the horizon. It was the kind of sunset that should have felt peaceful, a quiet reminder of the world's beauty. But inside Rod Bullock's house, there was no peace, only tension, thick and heavy, like a storm on the verge of breaking. Jasmine stood frozen in the middle of the living room, her breath caught in her throat. Her heart pounded so loudly she could hear it in her ears. Rod's words echoed in her mind, sinking in like stones in deep water. The room, once warm and familiar, suddenly felt distant and cold. She wanted to speak, to ask if she had misunderstood, but no words came. Silence filled the space between them, stretching longer with every passing second. Rod stood across from her, his face unreadable. His posture was stiff, unmoving, as if he had already made up his mind about how this moment would end. His eyes, usually filled with warmth, now seemed distant, like a door had quietly shut between them. Jasmine swallowed hard, trying to stay calm, but her emotions twisted inside her like a knot she couldn't untangle. Memories rushed back. Laughter, late-night whispers, the way things used to be before everything changed. Now, they stood in the same place, but felt worlds apart. She clenched her fists, trying to steady herself, but the ache in her chest only grew. She had thought she was ready for anything, but nothing could have prepared her for this. Outside, the last light of day faded into night, but inside, in that suffocating silence, Jasmine knew the sun had set on something much bigger than just the evening.
Life is rough.
I can't do this anymore, Jasmine. You need to leave. The words hit Jasmine like a sharp blow. Her chest tightened, and the room suddenly felt smaller, the walls closing in around her. She had heard him say things like this before, but this time was different. There was no frustration in his tone, no hint of doubt. He wasn't just upset. He had made up his mind. Her throat burned as she tried to hold back tears. She wanted to beg, to say something that would make him change his mind. But when she looked into his eyes, she saw nothing left. No anger. No sadness. Just emptiness. "Rod, please," she whispered. "I have nowhere else to go." He crossed his arms, his face hard. He had given her so many chances, believed in her even when she had stopped believing in herself. But every time, it ended the same way. Broken promises, bad choices. And now, he was done. "You don't understand," he said, his voice low but steady. "I can't keep losing myself trying to save you. I have my own life to live." Jasmine felt the weight of his words settle deep in her chest. She stood there for what felt like forever, frozen in place, trapped between regret and reality. She had come here hoping for comfort, maybe even a second chance. Instead, she was being told to leave like she was a stranger. "Rod, I don't want to hear it," he interrupted. "Just go." Anger flared inside her for a brief second, but it faded just as quickly. What was the point of fighting? She had already lost. With a heavy heart, she turned toward the door. Every step felt heavier than the last, like she was walking through quicksand, sinking deeper into a future she wasn't ready for. As she stepped outside, the night air hit her, sharp and cold. The street was quiet, the sky a deep shade of blue. It should have been peaceful, but it only made her feel even more alone. She hesitated, looking back at the house, the place that had once been home, but that was in the past. Her hands shook as she pulled out her phone. She stared at the screen before finally dialing a number she had promised herself she'd never call again. The phone rang. Each second made her stomach tighten. Then, a voice she hadn't heard in a long time answered. "Jasmine?" Her breath caught. It had been years, but Kirk Frost's voice was just as she remembered. Calm, steady. She hesitated. Their history was messy, full of mistakes and pain. She had stayed, away for a reason. But right now, she had no one else. "Kirk," she finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I need your help. Rod kicked me out. I have nowhere to go." Silence. She could hear him breathing, could almost picture him leaning back, thinking. She knew he had every reason to turn her away. She had burned too many bridges, and Kirk had never been one to let his guard down easily. Finally, he spoke. "You calling me for money?" Jasmine swallowed hard. "I don't have a choice. Please, just this once." Another long pause. She knew he was weighing the risk, trying to decide if she was worth it. Humiliation burned inside her. Asking for help was never easy. Asking Kirk? That was something else entirely. But pride wasn't an option anymore. After what felt like forever, he let out a slow breath. "All right," he said. "But Jasmine, you need to get it together. This can't keep happening." She nodded, even though he couldn't see her. "I know. I will. I promise." She could hear the doubt in his voice, but he didn't argue. Later that night, she stood outside Kirk's apartment building. The city lights reflected off the wet pavement, casting a golden glow around her. She took a deep breath and knocked on his door. When he opened it, his face was unreadable. No anger, no warmth, just quiet acceptance. Without a word, he stepped aside, letting her in. Jasmine walked past him, the familiar scent of his cologne hitting her all at once. She had been here before, but everything felt different now. Colder, more distant. Kirk sat across from her, watching her like he was trying to figure her out. "You're in a bad place, Jasmine," he said. "But I'm not here to fix this for you. You have to fix it yourself." "I know," she whispered. "I just don't know where to start." He didn't answer right away. Instead, he stood up and walked into another room. When he came back, he placed an envelope on the table in front of her. "Here," he said. "It's not much, but it'll help for now. Just remember, this is a loan. Don't make me regret it." Jasmine reached for it, her fingers shaking. She looked up at him, searching for something in his face that she couldn't quite name. "Thank you," she said softly. Kirk only nodded. The silence between them said more than words ever could.